this morning, I want to talk about. I have to tell you, I had this whole thing prepped and then I scrapped it and then returned to it. So there's a new one coming, but this this one has just been sitting with me. As I think I shared last week, this has just been a very busy and wonderful time for Empower, and we're growing, and it's wonderful, and also it's a lot of details and a lot of energy, and so I've really been leaning on my mindfulness broadcast. And I was brought back to this moment years ago when I moved to Southern Oregon. When I moved to Oregon, I think I had probably the best, for me, I think the absolute best job combination, which is that I worked up at Mount Ashland, which is the local ski and snowboard area here in Southern Oregon, as a lift operator and manager. And then in the summers, I worked as for a river rafting company, and I did the shuttle driving. And then eventually I got trained to do some guiding. And it was just such a wonderful way to get introduced to a region. I couldn't tell you how to get from one town to another, but I could tell you where the best rapids were and how to guide through them, and lost cemeteries and old dirt roads, and where the best snow was, and it was great. I loved that era of my life. And during that time, when I worked for the river rafting company, my boss, and ended up being my mentor, my guide mentor, and also a dear friend of mine throughout the decades still. His name is Warren Helgeson, and he was a woodshop teacher and later went on to teach other things, but at Eagle Point High School. And so that's how he spent his summers, was running this business. And he took me under his wing to help teach me how to guide rivers and how to read rivers. And there was, it's very busy and you have to be in it, and it's very mindful in its practice. You really can't be anywhere else except right in a rapid. But there was a still spot in the river, and I remember we were on a section of the lower Rogue, I think, and it was still and quiet, and we were in this canyon, and you could just hear the oars going into the water and the birds singing, and there was a creek that was coming into the river, this tributary, and he said, this is as important as getting down the river, these moments. And so I want you to just take it in. He said, you'll probably be a river guide for a short period of your life, but these moments are forever. And what he went on to tell me was, through when he gets really busy, when he's thinking about deadlines and students and timelines and budgets and needs and machines that aren't working and all of the things that plague us as adults in our busy world, he said, I come back to these still moments and I remind myself that that is happening. So wherever I'm at, if I'm stuck at a stoplight and I'm running late and I'm stressed out and I just spilled coffee and my phone is ringing, I come back to this moment and I remember this canyon is here. This river is flowing. These birds are singing. This tributary is adding to this. And I just come back to this place. It's always here. It was here well before I entered this earth, and it'll be here well after I leave this earth. And it was such a beautiful lesson to give to me I think I was 20 or 21 maybe. It was such a beautiful lesson to me. And I think it was probably the foundations of my introduction to mindfulness, is really be where you are. And then you can tuck those magical moments away, whether it's just this magical moment with a partner, with a child, with nature, with a best friend, at work, whatever. Tuck these moments away, be in them, and then put them in a little spot in your heart, in your mind, in your brain, wherever you can access those, so that when we get so flustered and so busy with the doings and the achieving and the needs and the busyness, we can always bring ourselves back to this moment that's happening always. So with that, let's go ahead and get into our practice this morning. And I'm dedicating this to my good friend, Warren Helgeson. Thank you for your many lessons in my life. So with that, you can close your eyes or take a soft gaze. Just be here now. So many things are happening. So many things are calling our attention. And we have made a choice to be right here, right now. So just feel yourself in this moment. Feel where you make contact with the floor, with furniture, with yourself. Maybe you feel your hands on the tops of your legs, or you feel where your arms are touching the core of your body. Perhaps you feel your clothing. Wiggle your toes. Maybe you feel your socks and shoes. Just feel. And as you're doing that, also feel your breath as it moves in and out of your body, slowing way down, feeling where the breath enters your nostrils, noticing what it feels like as you pull that breath back into your sinuses and then down your throat. Feel it as it enters your lungs and begins to expand your ribs and your intercostal muscles, as it moves your diaphragm, feels like it's going all the way down deep in your belly. Notice where you kind of hang out between the inhale and the exhale. And then reverse that process, feeling it all along the way, noticing as your belly collapses, as your diaphragm moves upward, as the air exits your lungs, back up your throat, feel the warmth of it on your lips as you exhale. Notice where your tongue is as you do this. Feeling your whole being, your whole existence. We spend so much of our day in our heads. Come down into your body. You might notice any other feelings in your body. Maybe there's sensations of pain. Maybe something itches, something's twitching, something's a little creaky. Just notice all of that. Welcoming it all. It all just is. Whether we place judgment on it or not, it's just our present state of being. And so we're just noticing it. I want to invite you to bring to mind some place of beauty that you have found yourself in. Maybe it's one single moment, one place you've been one time, or maybe it's a place you visit often. Maybe it's a dark, quiet forest or an ocean cliff with an expansive view of the dynamic ocean. Perhaps it's a little room in a childhood home, a place of beauty. And you might find that it's a fantasy. It's a place in your mind that you've only gone to mentally, and that's okay too. And if you can't think of anything, just listen. It might be an activity you want to play with later or construct as we move through this. The first thing I want you to do is just notice this place that you have put yourself. What is this place of beauty? Notice the details, really describing it to yourself as you see it and feel it and experience it. What do you hear? What do you see? Are you alone? What are you doing? Notice textures, colors, energy, maybe the play of light, of moonlight or sunlight, or some other element, maybe wind. Mine are always places I've been in nature. And I remind myself that that's still there. It's happening right now. As we begin to close out the activity, I want you to notice, come back to your sense of feeling, your physical state. Notice if there's been any adjustments or shifts in your body as you've put yourself in this place of beauty. For me, I find there's just a slight smile. This knowing it's there, which means I'm there. It's in me. In her book, Wild, Cheryl Strayed wrote this line that her mom used to tell her, which was, put yourself in the way of beauty. I've always loved it. Intentionally put yourself in the way of beauty. When you're ready, slowly leave that place, tucking it away somewhere in your heart, in your mind, maybe with some pressure point on your body, knowing it's there, this place of resilience. And slowly open your eyes, come back together. Thank you all for being here and joining me.